Welcome to today's episode of Cuss N Discuss. I'm your host, Steve Cutie. Today's guests, Flynn Stewart and Ginger Duke. Today's topic for discussion, I'm looking to buy a new horse trailer. Would you choose a bumper pull or a gooseneck? Ginger from Georgia. So, must be like your spirit animal.
Must be.
So, who wants to tackle it?
I'll take that.
Okay.
There's no question. That's not a viable deal. I would take a gooseneck any time over a bumper pull. It's safer, and when we got the gooseneck slant load trailers, we lost all those trailer fighting horses we used to have. They all disappeared, and I've been whipped off the road 2 or 3 times by a bumper pull trailer. Either have it loaded too much or not enough or whatever, or loaded not right or something, and there's just no question in my mind that you buy a gooseneck.
Ginger?
I have to agree. I mean, they're easier to back up. They're safer.
Yeah, yes.
You know,
You can haul more horses. I never saw a
knock on wood, I've never had the ball
horse
in the bed of the truck come undone.
No.
But I sure as heck have had the ball on the bumper pull come undone.
That's right.
And scare you half to death.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. I'm gonna have to go with gooseneck, because that's all I've ever had. I mean, we've used other trailers, bumper pull trailers, but horse-wise, never. I mean, I guess I won't say never. I would say if I had a large enough tow vehicle, then it might not make that much of a difference, because if you're pulling it with one of the big diesel pusher RVs that has enough weight that can handle it, then it's fine, right? But if you're pulling a 3-horse bumper pull with a F-150 half-ton, it kind of gets sketchy, right? And just talking about the trailers is that is not so much if your truck can pull the trailer, but if your truck can stop the trailer.
That's right.
Right? Because it's a lot easier to go than whoa.
Yeah.
And I think that's where most of the issues happen. Because once you get rolling, it's anything will pull it. But the problem is when you step on the brake and that 3-horse is shoving you down the road because your trailer brakes aren't adjusted correct.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, then you run into other problems. Because when your truck tires are locked up and the trailer's still pushing you, it's gonna push you sideways.
Yeah.
And that makes it kind of a sketchy deal. So,
well, for years, for 5 years, I guess, I pulled a 2-horse side-by-side trailer with an El Camino, and I got along all right. But there was one time I thought I lost it, but I got it back, and it was kind of scary. But I just don't have any use for a bumper hitch trailer.
now let me ask this, because you're the only one here that I'm sure that's probably pulled or used one. But back in the olden days, as the kids say, right? Inline trailer with a tongue, right? Front axle, right? So kind of like a hay wagon.
Yeah.
How did those go?
They pulled pretty good. They really did. They weren't, and a lot of people pulled them with cars back then, because there wasn't any weight on the vehicle.
Right.
More or less. And I remember in, I think, 62 maybe, Shorty Freeman won the world with hopping, and he pulled her all around the world in one of those 2-horse inline trailers, and with a Cadillac, and that's how they went to Cuttings. And those were much safer, I think, than bumper hitch, what we call bumper hitch trailers. So
would they rate in between a gooseneck and a bumper pull?
Yes, probably.
Yeah. Did they just fall out of fashion? Why did they not? I mean, because I've only seen them on an inline. I don't know that they ever did anything with side by side.
They had 4 horses, yes. They had 4-horse inlines.
Right.
Not very many of them were ever made, and I don't.
Okay.
They never were very popular.
Gotcha.
The best trailer I ever had to pull was a 2-horse inline gooseneck, and it pulled right in the tires ran right in the tracks of your truck tires, and it was easy to pull.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, we don't have that anymore. And it just had a half woof on it. It was a catch trailer is what it was, really. But it was pretty handy.
I mean, those bumper pulls, I mean, you said, if you're pulling them behind the toter homes, but I've seen them not so hot behind those toter homes too, you know, especially, and now I guess I should take that back, because most of the ones that I've seen busted up were aluminum, and they were not leveled right behind those toter homes.
Yes.
So it put too much, I guess, torque maybe on the beams that come out to connect to the hitch, and it broke them. So I mean, now, I mean, obviously with a gooseneck, they can be up too high and you've got too much weight on the back axle, or vice versa. But I've just seen more problems with bumper pulls. And like I said, I don't know if it's necessarily, the metal ones versus an aluminum, that's probably a whole other discussion. But I have seen those aluminum ones pulled behind the toter homes that break pretty,
Well, we had, back in olden times, back in the 60s, we had a 16-foot trailer, bumper pull. And it was a stock trailer, and we went to Fort Worth and bought some 24-foot lumber, and it was a lot of 24-foot lumber, and we loaded it on this 16-foot bumper pull trailer, and we just lowered the back end of it and raised up the back end, and we had to drive about 20 miles an hour all the way home. Because it was just
not proportionate.
It wasn't balanced.
Yeah. Right. And what we'll be sure and do is I'll make sure that Paul, our tech guru, will find the link, because there's a link of how trailers are balanced. The guy does on a treadmill, whether the weight's too far back or too far forward, on how it affects your vehicle handling. So we'll make sure that we put that in the description below, so that you guys can see how that affects it, right? Because just because you got 1 horse, don't be lazy and put him in the very last hole.
That's right.
Put him up in the front so you have the weight on the vehicle, so it's not lifting your truck up, because then you're going to end up running with issues.
Or put him over the wheels.
Yep. Or because today, shoot, if we had 6-horse inline with the like the old days, right? That had the wheels on the front of it.
Yeah.
Some Yahoo would be showing up at a horse show with a Kia Sorrento, right? Little 4-cylinder pulling this thing, running down the highway just because they could,
They used to be called shotgun trailers.
Right.
Just like I have not seen a 2-horse side-by-side in a long time, or probably have, but very, very few of them.
Well, probably not new.
Not a new one.
I won't say this. In the hunter jumper dressage world, all those things with those big transport vans and things like that, those are all side by side, right? Because they'll be 3 wide, and then they'll be head to tail or head to head, and they're in line. But anything nowadays, right, is got to be generally going to be a multiple horses, going to be gooseneck, and going to be a slant load.
One time. My father-in-law gave me a thoroughbred stud, and the stud was in New Orleans at the racetrack at the fairgrounds, and I had to go down there and get him. He was an 8-year-old stud, and he was through with his race career, and he'd won a lot of money, but not enough to be a big player in the thoroughbred. So we had a 3/4 ton truck, and I put my 2-horse side by side bumper hitch trailer on it and went to New Orleans. And I didn't think they were going to let me have that horse on the racetrack. I don't think but they finally did. But you know, they always haul them in those big vans,
right?
Which are very expensive, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
But I really got some weird looks from those people on the racetrack down there.
Right.
I swung the petition over the side and put him in there where he was slanted, but they thought I was crazy.
Right. You know, I think today, right, one, paramount safety, you know, when you're pulling a lot of horses, and maybe that's, you know, it's a topic for another day and another episode, but you know, your tow vehicle ratings, you know, on what you're pulling with the trailer, you know, stopping, all the things that go with it. I mean, that's a whole nother episode we can, you know, jump into with the safety and why you do what you do. And, you know, I mean, I know, you know, you talk to those guys that, you know, drive semis / toter homes, and, you know, there's single axle, right? Or tandem, and, you know, I mean, one hates one and one hates the other, and everybody's got their reasons for it, and, you know, what the trailers are and how those pieces go together. But, you know, all in all, it's safety first, and then, you know, I think everybody here at least agrees that it's going to be a gooseneck. And then I think what I was always told is a general rule is that if you have one horse, then you can pull it with a half ton, right? You have 2 horses, so basically whatever the number was at the beginning was how many horses you could haul safely.
Yeah.
And I know that's just a general statement, right? But if you got a 1 ton, which would be, say, a 350 or a 3500, that's a 3.
Yeah.
Right. Anything above that, then you really need a bigger truck, you know, 450 or 550, because that gives you the weight and the stopping power. And I mean, that's optimum. But, you know, I mean, again, I've seen people running down the highway with a 12-horse slant load with a 1-ton dually, and you know what I mean. Everybody gets there, and you know. So who am I to judge? But you know, that again, that's a topic for another day. So I hope, Ginger, that answers your questions on what we would do. Everybody here on the panel, at least tonight, agrees. Gooseneck.
Yes.
So put in the comments below if you agree. Gooseneck bumper pull. What do you think is the safest? Let us know. We'll make sure that Ginger sees it. And you know, I guess that's going to be all we have for the evening. So for Cuss N Discuss, I'm Steve Cutie, Flynn Stewart, Ginger Duke. We'll catch you on the other side.